News Radio 700 WLW.
If you have paid attention to any of Donald Trump's recent rallies, you know he loves playing this song. This is a song that, man, has been around forever. It's Sam and Dave. Sam Moore and Dave Prater. It was recorded at Stax Records in Memphis, Tennessee back in the 60s. It was written by Dave Moore and Isaac Hayes. Well, now the estate of Isaac Hayes is suing Donald Trump's campaign because they're using this without, they say, their permission. And the lawsuit goes before a federal judge tomorrow. They want $3 million in damages. Other music groups are now saying, don't use our music. But Trump says, hold on, I've paid for the right to use this song. So tomorrow, a judge will at least listen to the case and quite possibly rule on the case, and then what happens then? Standing by is a man known as the patent professor, John Rizvi, adjunct professor of patent law at Nova Southeastern Law School. I've had John on many times. I wanted to get him on today because tomorrow, hold on, I'm coming, maybe, hold on a minute. This song might not be coming. John Rizvi, how are you on this Labor Day?
Yes, good. Always a pleasure to be here.
All right, so what's wrong with Trump using "Hold On, I'm Coming"? Is there not a thing called fair usage anymore?
Yeah, so fair use does not apply in a case like this. There's several factors that are looked at, and it's been found not to apply to music, copyrighted music being used, in a campaign.
Okay, so if I wanted to just randomly start giving speeches on the street corners here in Cincinnati, and I played music to announce my presence, I would be in violation of the copyright laws.
You would. It's a public performance, and you do not have a license for that.
The difference, I guess, though, between what we're talking about and, for example, what's used in football stadia across the country or bands playing in local bars is those places, the stadium or the bar, has to pay some sort of fee to, I would guess, BMI or somebody like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So BMI is like a clearinghouse, and that just makes an efficient calculation and a way to charge the licensing fees. But artists can opt out of BMI, and that's actually a lot of what's happening. Is a lot of artists have opted out, made it clear they don't want to participate. And when a candidate continues after that, after being put on notice to use their music, then they're in violation, and it is copyright infringement.
So Isaac Hayes' son, Isaac Hayes died a few years ago. And his son I guess the estate has told Trump, don't use this music. And then they've come up with a $3 million figure for all of the unauthorized use. Now, look, Trump's been playing this since, I guess, when he restarted his campaign year and a half, 2 years ago. How did they come up with $3 million? How did that price tag get? Why is it not $4 million, $6 million?
Yeah, well, there's statutory damages for copyright infringement. They're set at $150,000 per infraction. The $3 million, I don't know if it's gone up since August 16th, but that was the deadline that the Isaac Hayes estate gave to Donald Trump to stop use of the music. And if they stopped use on that date, I believe the calculation was $3 million. I don't know how many campaign stops he's had since then, or how much higher it is today. But ultimately, for a lot of these artists, and in the case of Isaac Hayes, the estate, it's not about the licensing fees. I mean, $3 million might seem like a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, especially if you look at the amount the presidential candidates spend on their campaign, it's not a lot of money. But from the artist standpoint, it's not the fees as the only interest that they have. As the owner of the copyright, they have a right to control how their music is used and have the right to give permission or deny permission to others. In these cases, they want to disassociate themselves with a candidate to protect their fan base. They don't want their fan base thinking that just because certain music is played at during campaigns that artist endorses or supports that candidate. And that's the major issue with the music being played at campaigns, because it's not really a fight just over licensing fees and revenue for lost licensing fees. What it's ultimately about is a right of association or disassociation of an artist from certain candidates, and that they're able to accomplish. They were hoping by opting out of the license through BMI, but it's not working, because this is certainly not the first time that Trump campaign has used music against an artist's wishes. But in all fairness, it's just not Donald Trump, and it's just not Republican candidates. This is something that's been ongoing for years.
Well, I guess there's a problem with the Foo Fighters. He's been using the song "My Hero" and Foo Fighters. I mean, it's Dave Grohl and that group have a definite liberal bent, and they said that whatever damages they get from this federal hearing, or whatever is, I guess, ultimately determined as damages monetarily, is going to go to the Harris-Walz campaign. What would happen if, for example, the Miami Southeast High School band played a version of "Hold On, I'm Coming" and Trump decides to use that? Would it still be the same thing, even though it's not the exact song that Isaac Hayes co-wrote with David Porter all those years ago?
Yeah, so, I mean, now that would be a different case, a different set of facts for fair use, but also could possibly be seen as a derivative work. And that's distinguishable from what the Trump campaign is doing. It's not a derivative work. They're playing the actual copyrighted lyrics and music. So
yeah, but I mean, if just some band, high school band, college band, or an ad hoc band, Trump puts together, an all-star band, kind of like Ringo Starr did. You just bring all these musicians in, and they play "Hold On, I'm Coming," and that band signs off on it. I guess is that still an infringement on the actual authors of that song?
No, they don't have the right to prevent future derivative work. Oh. So that would not be a violation.
Well, that's what I do. Wouldn't you do that? I mean, just from if indeed you like that song and you think it's something that you identify with, I'm sure he has the financial wherewithal, and I'm sure there are musicians out there that might be someone that would view Trump as a favorable candidate. That's what I do, rather than trying to hassle with the estate of Isaac Hayes. Wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, so, a big issue for the candidates, and I've been asked before, why don't they just ask for permission? And the problem is, if you ask for permission and permission is denied, then you look a lot worse, right? It's the optics of it. Like, hey, the Trump campaign asked the estate of Isaac Hayes for permission. The representative for the estate said no, and then they did it anyway. So it's just the optics of how it looks to the public. And I think that same issue is there. It looks like you're cleverly trying to get around copyright law by using that song, not using the original and playing it anyway. It's almost as if they're admitting that, hey, we know we wouldn't have gotten permission from the estate of Isaac Hayes, because honestly, if you could get, if you could play Bruce Springsteen's song at your campaign and have the option of doing that versus having a local band play it, like, who would not choose the actual artist music? Sure. And I think the thing is, if they don't do that, they look worse. It's almost like asking for permission, getting told no, and doing it anyway. But this is, I think this is even worse. This is not even asking for permission. This is trying to cleverly bank off of the goodwill of the artist and play their music, granted by a different musician, but for the same purpose. And the artist, they may not have a legal cause of action, but they certainly are still going to suffer from being affiliated with the candidate's campaign.
Yeah, sure. No, I totally get that. John Rizvi's with us. He's the patent professor, so trademarked. And we're talking about campaign music and, Trump being able to use My Hero by the Foo Fighters or Hold On, I'm Coming by Sam and Dave, a long-forgotten hit from 1966. All right, so the federal hearing, the federal court hearing, what do you expect?
Yeah, so this is an emergency hearing, and it's a request for an injunction preventing the Trump campaign from further use of the music until the court makes the determination of whether it's an infringement or not. My prediction is that the injunction is going to be granted.
Just add it to the litany of things he's dealing with legally.
Exactly.
John Rizvi, the patent professor. It's great, John. You always bring enlightenment to things like this. I appreciate it. Stay well. We'll visit down the road.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.